listening to the Phenomenal Forum on WCWPSports.org and iTunes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the final Phenomenal Forum of 2017, a very special episode. I'm Matt Weinstein. Join alongside me each and every week. To my right, it's Andrew Servideo. To my left, Blackjack Alex Demiris. Guys, what's going on this week?
I'm very excited for
What's
this
up,
week.
good brothers? Happy New Year.
Oh, brother.
Oh, wow. Really? All right. So this week, a lot to talk about. Mostly, we're doing 2017 year in review, the good, the bad, the sports entertainment. So, but before we get into that, this past Monday on Raw, we have new Raw Tag Team Champions, Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan, after Dean Ambrose suffered the elbow injury. He's out for up to 9 months. So what do you guys think of Rollins and Jordan together?
I see that smile on your face, Andrew. Why don't you
I'm
start us
actually,
off?
okay, so here's my thing. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with
You
this.
definitely hated it as it happened.
No, here's the funny part. I was in the bathroom, and my girlfriend was like, they just won the titles. And I'm like, what? And I cleaned up quick, got out, and I ran up to my TV, and I'm like, no way, they just won the titles. I had no idea that was going to happen. And then I watched it back, and I was like, you know what? I kind of like this.
You had no idea what was going to happen.
No.
That was the good part about
Yeah,
it.
Exactly. You don't have that so much nowadays.
You're right. You said, I bet you thought he didn't like it because you didn't like the promo, I bet, before the match.
No, I didn't like the promo, and I thought it was going to be a one-off type thing. They get, Jordan and Rollins get into a fight, and the bar takes advantage, and it was going to be a one-off. Then we'd have a couple Rollins, Jordan for another 3-4 weeks of matches. But I'm okay with it because I like the two guys who don't get along, they win the titles, and they have to work together. And the past couple times we've seen that over the years, it was like they won the titles. Usually it was John Cena with somebody else. John Cena would win the titles. The week later, he would lose them. I don't think that's what we're going to get out of these two guys. I think they're going to have a decent run.
Like Sheamus and Cesaro.
I don't know if that would be that long, but I think
But the fact that
how they didn't like each other
at
Right,
first,
right,
turned
right.
into a good
With
Yeah,
Sheamus and Cesaro paid off. That paid off, and they were one of the best tag teams of the year. We'll get into that much later. But with these two guys, I see it for maybe until the Royal Rumble. Maybe things fall apart either the week before the Royal Rumble, at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
A month from yesterday, as we're recording, a month from yesterday is the Royal Rumble.
Okay. Glad we finally know.
Yeah, we never
The last
know
4
what the
weeks.
days are. We say
Yeah.
maybe 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. So a month, however many weeks that is. I don't know.
I like it too. I like it because it's different. I like it because we weren't expecting it really. Are they just thrusting Jason Jordan into this Ambrose role now? And then just they're playing it by ear?
I really hope not. But the thing is, I like this dynamic that they have between the two. I think Jason Jordan, with a slow turn as a heel, would be cool, and turn on Seth Rollins eventually if they lose the titles.
Or even causes them to lose the title.
Right. If that causes them, or even Seth turning on him, but vice versa.
Okay.
But I think it'd be really cool to see.
Yeah. I like it. I'm excited to see where it goes as well. So.
And the thing we fail to realize, because whether we want to say it or not, Jason Jordan's good.
Oh.
Yes.
He's good in the ring. It's just he had to figure out that character. And realistically, since the summer when they announced the Jason Jordan is Kurt Angle's son, they played it off as that he was a babyface. But I think the whole time he was a heel because they knew that nobody was going to get on board with this.
Yeah, no, the crowd hates him.
And if that's the case, then it was a job well done. And he's in a good spot now. He's in a story with 3 of the best guys in the business, in Rollins, Sheamus, and Cesaro. So good on Jason Jordan.
When American Alpha started debuting in NXT, weren't they heels? They were heels, right, to begin with?
Yeah, the two of them were heels.
Right.
They had so much charisma.
They were great.
They were great together, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. And then the crowd had no choice but to turn them babyface.
Right, so Jason Jordan started off as a heel to begin with, correct?
Jason Jordan, without Chad Gable, is a much better heel than
absolutely.
babyface.
That's what I'm saying. So
Right.
then, and Seth Rollins is obviously a way better heel than he is a babyface, but we do like him as the babyface role.
He's starting to figure it out. He finally
Right,
figured
he's
it
figuring
out.
it out. And I like this tag team very much.
Based on in-ring, you can't get 2 guys that are much better.
Yeah.
So,
No.
you know what?
And Jason Jordan's back in a tag team because that's where he was best. He can come in with the hot tags. He can do what he does, and he's not overpowering being in the ring so much. He's with a guy like Seth Rollins that whoever you are, you're going to love a guy like Seth Rollins. You're going to cheer him. And this pretty much, with this win and the Ambrose injury, pretty much marks the Shield return, the end of the Shield return.
Yeah.
Because it never really got started.
Unfortunately,
they got
yeah.
together, and Roman got sick. They threw Kurt Angle in there. Then they had, really the highlight for me was the one match with the New Day at Survivor Series. Otherwise, everything with the Bar and Samoa Joe could have been so much better.
Other than that, it was
they just
bad
needed
timing.
some time.
It was bad timing.
The timing, it killed it.
And I loved You'll Never Be Dean Ambrose. I'm better.
That
great.
made me really upset. I was like, this guy,
Made
they
you
don't
miss
like each
Dean.
other. This is gonna be the classic. We're gonna cost each other the match. Da 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 da. And they won. So now I don't know what's going on, and that's why
I'm excited.
exactly. So then, the last thing we want to talk about this week before we get into our year-end awards is the main event of SmackDown with Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. Sami Zayn allowed to be at ringside. Shane McMahon was not too happy about that. And Shane ended up costing AJ the match. So now you have the whole Shane against Owens and Zayn. Now AJ is kind of... He's not... Obviously, AJ and Shane aren't heel babyface, whatever, but they're not as much on the same page as they once were.
This is getting ready to blow up, and I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm surprised it hasn't blown up in the past 2 months.
Question.
Yeah.
Does Styles have an opponent for the Rumble yet?
No.
No.
Okay.
That's huge.
Yes.
Just a,
And I think there's a good chance it could be Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. Maybe
Yeah.
a triple threat.
oh, you know what?
I
That
just-
would be a
Wow.
good
I just
idea.
thought of that off the top of my head. I thought
Spewing
it would
hot
be-
takes on this show.
That's what I do.
That's
Come
what
on.
we do.
Week in
Come
and
on.
week out. But I thought I'm thinking AJ versus KO makes sense because KO beat AJ Styles clean on Raw. Clean, quote unquote, on Raw.
Yeah.
He pinned him in the middle of the ring at SmackDown, whatever, same thing. But maybe you get AJ versus Owens versus Sami Zayn, which could potentially lead to Sami Zayn and KO breaking up. There's your road to WrestleMania.
That sounds pretty logical.
The only thing with that, Daniel Bryan would be all about that, right? Having those two against AJ. Shane O'Mac is never going to go for that.
Yeah,
Think
so
about it
that's the thing.
storyline-wise. He's
I
never
think
going to
that's-
throw those
yeah,
two
I
with a
think
good
that's what they're
shot.
gonna go for. That
That's
makes
the only
sense.
wrench in the plan there.
Well, now at least, because because Shane was talking to Daniel Bryan backstage. He said he doesn't deserve this match against the champion. What did he do? Well, Daniel Bryan justified it, and now he has a win against the champion. So whatever he gets next, he does deserve. And Shane can't say no to that. He can't because proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the middle of the ring. He pinned AJ Styles.
This match also one of the greater rivalries of 2017.
Oh, for sure.
So, we'll
Sweet,
get into that.
Sweet segue. So now we'll get right into it. Our 2017 year in review. Really, as much as we love to complain, we love
And we
to,
do.
We love,
We do.
Just us as the Phenomenal Forum, us as wrestling fans, we love to complain. We love to write how much we hate wrestling on the internet. This was a good year for professional wrestling, up and down.
For sure.
For sure. So let's get into our first category, and I'm just kind of going to pick them at random.
Choose it wisely.
All right. First category,
Got started off strong.
how about this? The feud of the year, or storyline of the year.
Okay.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
Give it to Demirs.
Demirs, what do you got?
I'll
Funny
give you
Demirs.
one. I'll give you one at a time.
Because how many do you have?
I have 3.
All right, I have 2.
Okay, 2.5.
I got one.
We got to
really.
narrow
Look at
it down,
that.
and you have 1.
You
All
have
right.
1. Okay, I'll give you first. Usos versus the New Day.
Yep,
Ooh.
I got that one too.
Wow.
I thought that was probably the best tag team matchups we've seen this year.
Oh, for
the,
sure.
The Hell in a Cell match, and then how they kind of dapped up in the ring after
The
that
Ooze
the next
Truce.
night.
Gotta
The Ooze
love
Truce.
it.
Yeah,
From-
the Ooze Truce.
What was it, from like May to October?
It was a long
They
period.
were
yeah.
they were great.
And you know what? No complaints.
Not
Not
at all.
at all.
Seriously, did not mind seeing it all the time.
Yeah, I had them as well. I have one more.
And also, my short-term memory is terrible. These might be the tail end of 2016 things as well, so you got to keep me in check.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens versus Styles, we touched on a little bit, and then Miz versus Ambrose.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it was in 2016, but they carried over to 2017
Yeah.
as well when they came to Raw. Those two guys, it felt like the first half of 2017. It was almost like how the second half of 2017 we're saying, oh, it's Rollins and Ambrose versus Sheamus and Cesaro all the time. The whole
Yeah.
first half was Ambrose Miz.
You're right,
Yeah.
but not saying that it was bad because
Not at
I
all.
liked when Ambrose had the Intercontinental, and obviously I love when Miz has it. So
Yeah, Ambrose and the Miz are two guys who brought the prestige of the Intercontinental title up.
The prestige.
Yeah.
They
definitely.
made it mean something. Whereas Roman, he has the title. Yeah, he's a big guy on top of the card, but
Still holding it behind his back.
well, yeah, he's holding it behind
Making me
his
mad.
back. It's forgettable. You don't even remember that he has the title. When someone like The Miz or someone like Dean Ambrose, and I'm sure we'll talk much more about The Miz later on in the show, The Miz and Dean Ambrose, they'll let you know they're Intercontinental champion, and you won't forget.
Yeah.
So, and you had one more, you said, right?
No, that was the three.
it.
That was the three.
All right, so I had New Day Usos as well, and my second one, we touched upon it a little bit, more of a storyline than a feud, is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens together.
Yeah.
I think the two of them, they've done incredible work together, and the funny thing is, Kevin Owens hasn't changed his character one bit. Yeah. It's just Sami Zayn, going from 110% full-blown babyface, flipping the script, 110% full-blown heel, and he's doing an incredible job of it. I can't wait to see where the two of them go, and I hope one day, obviously I hope it leads to a WrestleMania match between the two because they deserve it. They're two of the best workers in the company. Sami Zayn, I'm not going to be shy about it. I've said it before. He's my favorite wrestler in the world. He's number one for me. And these two guys together, whether they're on the opposite sides of the ring or they're together,
They're money.
they are absolute money, and they will never put on a bad product.
That's the best part about it, is that it could be in two totally different directions. So.
And now, Andrew, you said you have one.
Yeah.
What's yours?
It was okay. So it was at the beginning of the year. It was when AJ and Cena were starting to feud at the Royal Rumble. That was incredible for me. I think their match at Royal Rumble was one of the best of the year, and I
agree.
Just the promo battle between the two, even just standing in the ring, was incredible.
It's funny. I mean, even the first time they were in the ring was the middle of 2016, but obviously it carried over. We did get it in 2017. Just the thought of John Cena and AJ Styles in the ring together, to me, still, we've seen it for a year and a half. It's still something else for me. I still don't fully process that. That's a possibility.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that it happened. On such a large scale, too, with the WWE Championship on the line at the Royal Rumble. It doesn't get better than that.
And I think in my head, there is a way it could get better.
If it's a Mania.
And that's John Cena winning the Royal Rumble this year, facing AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
That's a good one.
With his 17th World Championship on the line to break Ric Flair's record. Is there a possibility for that?
Well, yeah, because who better than AJ Styles to win it off of, realistically?
And honestly, we didn't even mention Cena when we were talking about the Rumble last week, I don't think.
And I also I'm going to change my Royal Rumble prediction, but we'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about that next week.
We'll get there. So, John Cena, AJ Styles for you, feud of the year.
For sure.
Although it was short.
Yeah, it was
in
short.
2017.
It was short-lived, but it was some of the best work that both of them have done in a while.
I totally agree. So now we go from best feud, best storyline. Let's go to worst feud or storyline of the year.
Okay.
Let's go reverse order. Andrew, start it up. How many do you have?
I just have the one.
You have the one.
I have one for
as
everything.
well.
I have two, but one of them is even worse. I think.
Okay.
So my worst feud and storyline is Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura. Their WWE title match was
super short,
very short and very short-lived, and I was very disappointed with the outcome and whatever. But I'm over it. I'm looking forward to Nakamura doing something next year.
You could have put Jinder versus anybody for you, and it would have been disappointing.
I mean, listen,
except
him versus Styles.
AJ Styles.
Yeah, him versus Styles
Okay.
was great, but anybody else, it was eh. And then this was just they really just killed any momentum that Shinsuke Nakamura had coming into WWE on the main roster.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say it did do is it just kept establishing Jinder Mahal as a heel. And it's not even that he was such a good heel. It's just that people didn't like him.
Yeah.
Which, that helps, but you can't really chalk that up to, he's such a great heel. It's just people didn't like him. People didn't want him in that spot. So if you're looking at, who's the best heel of the year, I don't think you're looking at Jinder Mahal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not.
But I think that's the only thing that's the only positive I can bring out of that story. So my worst story, I have two. Number two is Bray Wyatt, parentheses, Sister Abigail, versus the Demon Finn Balor. Thank goodness we didn't see this payoff match.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would have been, but Bray Wyatt getting sick, obviously we got Yeah, instead of seeing this match, we saw AJ Styles versus Finn Balor.
My favorite,
which,
one of my favorites.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 times, I would prefer that match. But I don't know how they would have pulled this off. I don't want to know how they would have pulled this off. And I hope it's the last we hear of Sister Abigail, quote-unquote, in the ring. And I kind of have a feeling that it may not be, because now we got this whole Bray Wyatt versus Woken Matt Hardy, which I love, but I don't need to see Woken Matt Hardy versus Sister Abigail. Give me Woken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. So
Yeah, I definitely don't want to see that Sister Abigail.
He can talk about her all he wants, but he doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to be her.
Yeah, for sure. And my number one was Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. They had their title match at Extreme Rules. It was a kendo stick on a pole match, and the whole build up to the match was Alexa saying, "Bayley, you can't get extreme." And she was right. She got the kendo stick, didn't hit Alexa Bliss with it, and that's how Alexa Bliss won the title. She still has it today. That whole storyline was to build up, oh, well, Bayley can get extreme. She can do all these things. But then she was like, no, Alexa, you're right. I can't.
Yeah.
And she lost. For me, that was the absolute worst storyline of the year. Damiris, what do you got for me?
I have Lesnar versus Goldberg.
Yeah.
It just was it seemed forced, and it reiterated that the Universal Championship is only for part-timers, apparently. Except for when
Currently, yeah.
Kevin Owens had it for like a minute. Did he even have it?
It feels like it was
like
so
a minute.
short.
So-
He had
It was pretty long.
6 months.
Yeah.
So, Lesnar Goldberg could have been better, in my opinion. And just one side note, I like this rivalry, but did we get too much of it? Roman versus Strowman.
I feel like it's a little cliched, but we're not finished with this story.
Yeah.
In the words of Braun Strowman, I don't think either of them are finished, because this is a story they can just go back to whenever they don't have anything. If they're looking for something to fill a pay-per-view, that's a main event match. That'll always be a main event match.
Did they even fight for anything significant, though?
They had Roman gave Braun his first loss. That was the pay-per-view before Mania. That was Fastlane.
Okay.
Fastlane, yeah.
And other than that, and then we had the ambulance spots where Braun tipped over the ambulance. I was in the crowd that night. That was at the Nassau Coliseum. And then later on, it was after their match. Then they had the ambulance match. I don't remember what pay-per-view it was. It might have been... I don't even know what pay-per-view it was. I can't even say. But then when Roman lost, but then he backed the ambulance into the wall with Braun in it. First of all, he should have been arrested, but that's all they did. So, I guess they're not done.
If they're going to run it back, make it for something meaningful. Put a title on the line or something.
Yeah.
Just, that's all I got to say
See,
about
here's the thing. If Braun Strowman wins the Universal title off of Lesnar at Royal Rumble, that's who's going to win the Rumble now? Whoever wins the Rumble on the Raw, if it's on the Raw side, then it's going to be versus Strowman.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't get a Roman victory at the Rumble.
No.
Well, there you go. But until the Rumble's over and they say, here's the winner, and they point to the Mania sign and there's the fireworks. Well, there might not even be fireworks. Who knows? But when they point, until the winner points to the Mania sign, don't rule out Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll get into the rest of our awards and our the best and the worst later in the show. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to The Phenomenal Forum here on WCWPsports.org.
You're listening to the Phenomenal Forum on WCWP Sports.
Welcome back to the Phenomenal Forum. I'm Matt Weinstein with Andrews Video and Alex Damiris each and every week for you here on WCWPsports.org as well as iTunes. So we'll get right back into our best and worst of the year. Right now we got the best and worst gimmicks of the year. So, Alex, I know you had one that you wanted to talk about.
Worst gimmick match was the Halloween jack-o'-lantern between
the Trick or Street fight.
the Trick or Street
Gotta
fight
love it.
between Gallows and Anderson, who I love, the Good Brothers. And I don't even remember who
I think
they
it was
wrestled.
Slater and Rhino.
Slater and Rhino? Oh, that was brutal.
Well, the Trick or Street fight is Gallows and Anderson's time to shine. Two years in a row they've lost that match.
It's a shame that this is really the only time that I remember them fighting in a meaningful match this year. And I use meaningful lightly.
So that was October 31st. Halloween was on a Monday. Since that night, I don't remember them being on a Raw.
No, the only
they
time I
haven't
saw them was on a promo for promoting
WWE shop.
WWE
Yeah. They
shop
haven't
like
been
on
anywhere.
a commercial or whatever. Yeah, haven't even seen him. Terrible. And then Gallows with the pumpkin on his head didn't even realize he
Didn't
lost
even-
the match. That was
if you're
I don't
gonna
even
put
want
the
I don't even
pumpkin
want to
on
talk
your
about
head,
it.
at least win the match first. I agree, just bad. I have my best and worst gimmicks are for two characters, two wrestlers. I'll do worst first, and that's Dolph Ziggler's "I hate gimmicks" gimmick.
Yes.
Of all the people to hate professional wrestling and sports entertainment and what it stands for, he's the last guy you'd picture to not have his entrance, to walk out to the Black Titantron, and they don't even commit. They play his music at the beginning, then the record scratch. They play his music if he wins a match.
It's a great choice.
I don't like gimmicks. Dolph Ziggler's I don't like gimmicks gimmick, the worst gimmick of the year for me. Do you have a worst, Andrew?
Yeah, so
We'll do
my
your worst before we get to best.
Yeah, so my worst is Jason Jordan being Kurt Angle's son. That's got to be my worst because you know what? Like, what has come out of it? Jason Jordan's gotten booed week after week. He's constantly like showing that like he's good in the ring, but like fans can't get behind him because of this whole stupid Kurt Angle's his dad. And it just doesn't sit well for me. And him winning the titles, the tag team titles with Seth Rollins, and now hopefully like gives Jason Jordan some meaning and some momentum going forward. But that whole dad storyline is just like it's not working for me.
Yeah, this past Monday when he won the titles is really the first time there's been a payoff to that whole story. Otherwise, the whole Survivor Series thing when he was going to be on the team, then he was quote-unquote hurt, then he kept wrestling Braun Strowman to prove himself. Terrible. It served no purpose.
Yeah.
But, this past Monday is the first time that we're actually seeing some quality payoff.
I agree. What do you got for the best?
Do you want to do, Drew, you want to go best first or you want me to go best first?
I'll go best first.
All right.
So my best gimmick is the Velveteen Dream.
There
I
you
think
go.
he
Nice.
has 100% proven to the WWE universe that anything can get over. You just got to put in the effort and do the work and show and prove yourself that you can be good with a silly gimmick such as the Velveteen Dream.
Great character.
I just hope that I totally agree with you, but I just hope that this is the type of gimmick that can translate to the main roster and get over, like because this is very similar to Tyler Breeze on NXT. He was a star at NXT and he's relegated to the Fashion Files, which we love, but we'd love to see more out of Tyler Breeze. I just hope that the day that when it comes that the Velveteen Dream is on Raw or SmackDown, it means something.
Yeah. I really think he will. I think it's more of like a Rick Rude type of gimmick. Like I can see him going after the IC title as soon as he comes up. I think that's like what he should do.
I think the sky's the limit for him as long as the machine's behind him.
Yeah.
And I think there's a good chance that if it is, he'll do some great things. Now, my best gimmick of the year, it's a late entry. We haven't seen much of it, but that's the team of Aiden English and Rusev. It's Rusev Day.
It's pretty great.
For me, that's gimmick of the year.
It's so over too.
It's so
they
it's,
love Rusev.
How crazy is that?
how did that happen?
I don't even know.
We've been preaching Rusev for a while. Maybe it was us.
Maybe
it
was.
might have been us.
We've really been
somebody's
preaching
listening.
Rusev and Rusev Day and Aiden English.
And
you can go back and check it out.
I love to. That's right. I love to see Aiden English in a meaningful story. You know, he didn't have much luck with the vaudevillains on the main roster. Then Simon Gotch got fired. I kind of just figured he would be next. Luckily, that wasn't the case, and he's been able to turn it around. Rusev's realistically one of the most over guys in the whole roster right now. Name me somebody who's more over than Rusev.
How did that
He
happen?
got the biggest pop on SmackDown for sure.
On SmackDown at Clash of Champions, he's
Raw too. Yeah.
everything. Oh yeah, on Raw when
Yeah.
they were talking about how it's Christmas, they were showing it's Rusev Day.
Yeah.
Everything about
That's
it.
what I'm
And Aiden English just adds so much to it. They bring so much to the table as a team. I think the sky's the limit for these two guys as a team, and eventually when Rusev breaks off again as a single star.
Yeah. That whole Rusev Day is just great.
That was a great, yeah.
Yeah.
So now, before we get into some of the... Actually, hold on. No, next we're going to do what was your favorite moment or segment of the year? Again, I have two.
Demiris, you go first.
Okay, I got
A segment,
I got
a
a
moment,
couple.
just what do you like? What
Number
did it for
one,
you?
Hardy Boys return at
Me too.
WrestleMania.
Yeah,
That was
for
great.
sure.
When their music hit, stop it.
They lost it.
Oh my
The crowd lost
gosh.
it. I lost it.
It was awesome.
I jumped out of my seat. It was crazy.
was-
I'm getting jacked up just thinking about it.
I can't even imagine. I remember I was
You hear
I'm sitting in the room with my whole family, whoever was watching WrestleMania with me. I don't even remember. And when the New Day came out, when they heard their music hit, I think my brother was like, "Oh, the New Day are just gonna put themselves in the match." I was like, "Wait a second, just wait." And then their music hit. I don't think it was the biggest reaction,
Yeah.
biggest pop I've ever
That's
had watching wrestling.
appointment
crazy.
television. Run and go check it out. The Hardy Boys are back. Unreal.
For me, that was my number one moment of the year. I do have one more, but what else? You said you have a couple more?
Yeah, I got a couple. I have the Cena Roman promo, or a couple of those. I thought those were good, especially when Roman forgot his lines and Cena was going after him.
Oh my god.
That was funny.
That was brutal.
How about the Uso New Day rap battle?
That was actually one of my runners up for promo of the year.
Was
The
it?
Usos New Day rap battle.
No way.
I
Go.
thought it was
That's great.
I thought that was incredible.
Yeah,
They
it-
had and the best honestly the best part of it was that they had Wale in there. But he only added to it. You figure, oh, Wale's there, he'll take away from it. It only made it better.
Yeah.
He just complimented the New Day and the Usos. And the line where I said this is over. First of all, there was no official winner.
Yeah.
But the Usos were so much better. They're so much more creative.
Yeah.
The line where Usos said one of the Usos said, "Big E, let's just keep it PG." Big E, let's keep it PG. Let's not get all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't
That
think
was great.
Xavier Woods' face was incredible.
It was great because he knew that was awesome.
Between that and the Xavier Woods line with the carrying bags for Roman,
Oh, how about
Oh
the
my gosh,
how about
yeah.
the Total Divas line?
the Total Divas,
Total
like,
Divas
everything
line was
about
good.
it, just back and forth and back and forth. This was, that was my runner-up, my promo of the year.
Okay. And one more moment. Strowman putting Big Show through the ring. I think whenever you see something like that, gets you going a little.
Yeah,
So,
those going through the ring spots are always good
Yeah.
to watch and fun.
Always, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So now, my number one moment of the year, well, 1A, 1B, I had the Hardys, and my other one, the Festival of Friendship
Yes.
between Chris Jericho and
Yep.
Kevin Owens. I've never gasped watching professional wrestling when Jericho showed the list of KO and it was revealed and he said, "How come my name's on this?" I straight up was like, "No."
Gasp, yeah.
And
Still
it was
hurts.
incredible because you knew it was going to happen. You knew they were going to break up. You knew Owens was going to turn on him. It was just when.
Yeah, when was it gonna happen?
And you know what? This whole segment, I'm like, this is the Festival of Friendship. It's not happening here. Obviously, I'm an idiot. Of course it was going to happen there. I'm like, no, this is going to be great. They're going to play off each other great. It's just, everything about it was perfect, especially that the last person that Chris Jericho put on the list before Owens turned on him was the Magician. The Magician's name, Friendship.
Oh.
Jericho put Friendship on the list.
Oh, yes.
And then Owens turned on him. Everything about it was just picture perfect.
It was.
See, information like that you can only get on the Phenomenal Forum.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I had no
That's-
idea
really?
about that.
That's
Yeah,
what we're
no.
all about. Yeah, so for me,
Chills.
Festival of Friendship moment segment
good
of the
one.
year.
So my moment of the year was nobody knew this was gonna happen. Nobody knew. Everybody was like, "Oh, I can't believe Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt are gonna fight again." And then Bray Wyatt gets sick, and it's AJ Styles and Finn Balor announced
on 2 days' notice.
2 days before the match even happens. They put on a great match, and at the end, they give each other the too sweet, and it was phenomenal.
That was the best part.
Obviously we've been way outspoken about it weeks past when it happened. They just gave us a taste of what these two guys can do when they have a legitimate story behind it, and these two guys. This wasn't the last time we're gonna see them in a WWE ring together.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, they're gonna.
And they know exactly what they're doing. It was a little tease, and when we get this again, it's gonna be so much more, and I can't wait to see it.
I'm very excited for that.
So now let's get into our last negative of the year. Your disappointment of the year. I'll go first. For me, that's the main roster run of Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
Because since
That's completely fair.
Yeah.
getting called up the SmackDown after WrestleMania, he's done very, very little. He had the title match against Jinder. We talked about that earlier. He's been in this weird tag team with Orton. He hasn't gotten a shot. Like he almost like they pulled his legs from out from under him when they brought him to the main roster. He's working WWE strong style. He's not even working like Shinsuke Nakamura wrestles. It's almost like a totally different guy. And we saw it that first night in NXT against Sami Zayn. That's the Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's my favorite match of all time.
That's the Shinsuke Nakamura that needs to be in the WWE. That's the Shinsuke Nakamura who's a superstar.
I don't think they give him that time, that chance to do it either.
This Shinsuke Nakamura, who we've seen since coming up, he's just another guy you can plug into a spot.
Yeah.
Hopefully 2018 is a better year for Shinsuke Nakamura.
I hope so too.
You want to go next?
Yeah, so my biggest disappointment this year was the Shield return.
Same.
Yeah, it just,
All right. That was easy.
perfect.
Yeah.
You say you're gonna do this, and you're gonna have all three guys of the Shield. You're gonna build it up for weeks and weeks and weeks. Roman gets sick, Dean gets hurt, Roman gets the IC title, forgets about the Shield. It was lackluster for me, and it didn't work.
My biggest problem with it is that the short amount of time where all three of them were healthy and they were together, they didn't capitalize on it because they just, like, if Ambrose and Rollins were on TV, if they were in the ring, it was us. We're the Shield. We're the brothers, whatever. When Roman was on TV by himself, it was Roman Reigns. It wasn't Roman Reigns of the Shield. And that's that's my biggest issue with it.
The timing was terrible, and it just wasn't as good as it could have been, and that's what makes it so forgettable and regretful, honestly, how awesome the Shield reunion could have been when they played it up. And in turn, I'll give another disappointment, since the Shield was all, cut up and not even the real Shield, we got too early of a Kurt Angle match, and we didn't really get the full Kurt Angle experience that I wanted to get in a Kurt Angle match.
I think I'm more disappointed that Kurt Angle was in that match than I am for what the Shield return was, because now, after the first Kurt Angle match at TLC and then at Survivor Series, I'm not as interested in a Kurt Angle return as I should be, as I was before it. Now, like, if we get a singles Kurt Angle return, that'll be great, but I'm almost turned off from it already.
Let me ask a question. Because I almost can echo the same sentiments as you, a little turned off by it. Is that because we didn't see as much as we were expecting from Kurt in the ring after all these years? You think that maybe he can't do it anymore?
Right. So I'm gonna give you guys a little hope right now, because Kurt Angle still has it.
Okay.
Well, he was working hurt, too.
He was working
matches.
hurt both of those matches. When he recovers and does that singles run that we all want, it's going to be awesome. Because, you know what? He had some matches in 2016 before he came to WWE. I'm telling you, he's still got it.
Okay.
Because he had... Okay, I'll name one. He had a match with Cody Rhodes at a steel cage.
That's exactly...
And it was
yeah.
one of the best matches of 2016. It was really good. I'm telling you, when Kurt Angle comes back as a singles competitor, it's going to be phenomenal.
As long as he's healthy.
I'm gonna remember the way you looked at me when you said that.
I gave you the death stare.
I felt like
was
you went right
listen,
into my soul.
Kurt Angle is gonna come back.
All right, so...
and the whole getup. That's what I want.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Because then, even at Survivor Series, when he was wearing his gear, he was wearing the Raw shirt over.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. So, we'll do one or two more before we go to break. Give me your breakout star of the year.
Breakout star of the year.
I have two.
I just have the one.
I have one and two.
What do you got?
For me, my number two is Elias.
Ooh,
okay.
All right, that's a good pick.
Since coming up, he's done so much, and I don't think anybody expected him to be at the level he is now.
Mm-hmm.
He
Right.
has so much heat when he starts playing, and he knows like 3 chords. He's not that good on the guitar, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
you
matter,
forget
'cause
it. You
that's
don't
what
pay
he-
attention to
that's
that.
what he needs.
And he's had some matches with great talent. He wrestled Cena the other day. He's been in the ring with Roman Reigns. This guy can go, and I think 2018 is going to be a good year for Elias.
Okay.
And my number one, it's a shame that he's not around anymore, is Neville. Was my breakout star of 2017. He put that cruiserweight division on his back. He was at, most of the year, for me, it was the two best guys in the company are AJ Styles and Neville. it was 1A and 1B. He was putting on incredible matches, and the best part about it is he was getting booed. He was getting that heel heat. To be a guy who's doing all these crazy flips off the top rope and get booed is unreal.
Yeah.
He lived that character. He did an incredible job, and I hope we see him back in a WWE ring one day.
I hope so too.
Hopefully soon.
Those are two good choices. How about Alexa Bliss?
Ooh, wow! I didn't even think.
That's
of that.
another good one.
Aside from the Bailey fiasco, I don't think she really had a bad storyline, honestly, this year. And it's kind of surprising because she's not great in the ring. She's not amazing on the mic. She's good on the mic. It's probably the best thing that she does. Why does this character not get stale? She just keeps it coming. It's just good.
Yeah, she has these like facial expressions that really like translate very well, I think. And her heel persona is like very prominent and very good. And I like it a lot.
The crowd loves it, and I love it too. 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, 2-time Raw Women's Champion. She's really made some sort of run for herself. So Alexa Bliss, also one of my top talents of the year.
So my breakout star of the year is Braun Strowman. If you would have told me going into 2017 that Braun Strowman was going to be as great as he is, I would have.
Out of your mind.
You would have been crazy.
I think it started at almost last year's Survivor Series.
Yeah, towards the end.
In that match, I think that's where it kind of picked up. But definitely this year, the year of Braun Strowman.
Year of Braun Strowman for sure. And he's just such a top star on Raw that like he's like the biggest attraction on Raw currently. For sure.
Perfect way to put it.
You know,
really.
He is the big attraction. And
agreed.
Rightfully so, because Braun Strowman, there's more to come for him in 2018 for sure.
So with that, we're going to take one final break before we get into the rest of our categories. Best of 2017. You've been listening to the Phenomenal Forum here on WCWPsports.org.
You're listening to the Phenomenal Forum on WCWP Sports.
Welcome back to the Phenomenal Forum. Matt Weinstein alongside Andrew Savidio and Alex Damiris each and every week here on WCWPsports.org as well as iTunes. Catch us on YouTube as well. Phenomenal Forum, that's the channel. Go subscribe. So we got a couple categories left. Let's start off pay-per-view of the year.
For me, pay-per-view of the year.
I know exactly what it is.
You know what it is.
And
you already
I
know.
probably have the same thing.
And for me, this was a close second.
It was NXT TakeOver War Games.
Yep.
There's no doubt in my mind that was
War
the best
Games.
pay-per-view of the year. Every match on that card was good.
It was amazing.
That was
War Games was something that I will never forget, and I can't believe they brought it back, and they did, and it was fantastic. Every minute of it, I loved it. Velveteen Dream, Aleister Black. We'll get into that later, but that was a great match. Ember Moon winning the title in the Fatal 4-Way. What is Lars Sullivan debuting?
Cassius Ohno. He didn't debut. It
Well,
was his first takeover.
First takeover.
He beat Cassius Ohno and the title match.
And the title match,
versus
CM versus
was
McIntyre.
great.
Yep.
That was my second favorite.
Really?
Second best. I knew you were going to say that, so
Because I've said it in the past.
I can
it's my
defend it.
favorite.
First of all, I have a different takeover. Before we get to that, best WWE pay-per-view, I'm going to go with up until the main event, Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Survivor Series was good.
I
Up
thought
until
Survivor
the-
Series was great. Up until that 5-on-5, which was a train wreck. We got some New Day Shield, Usos, Bar,
Lesnar, AJ Styles.
Lesnar, AJ. It's just a great pay-per-view. But number one for me, NXT TakeOver Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. The main event, Gargano and Ciampa versus the Authors of Pain,
Yeah.
an incredible ladder match, which ended up, that was the night Ciampa turned on Gargano and broke my heart.
That's stupid.
Pete Dunne,
Ciampa.
Tyler Bate. I will get into it later for the UK Championship. Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami for the NXT title. And the other, what was the match? It was Eric Young versus Roger Strong. Another
Yeah.
great match.
And
For-
Hideo Itami, we didn't talk about this, but was it on Raw?
On Raw.
When he hit the GTS on Brian Kendrick, he shattered Brian Kendrick's nose.
Did you see it? It was,
Dude,
it was
when they slow-moed it?
Oh my God.
I
it made me
hope
cringe.
it doesn't lead to them banning the GTS.
oh my God, I would be.
That was
I
bad.
hope it
Kendrick
does.
was down and out. That was terrible.
Because on 205 Live, he uses like submission moves.
Yeah,
as
he did
finisher.
something else. But nonetheless, I thought NXT TakeOver Chicago, for me, just edged out War Games just by that much.
Really?
Just by so close.
All right.
So then,
But
go for
here's
it.
the thing. All three of us picked NXT pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Oh, of course we did.
Because they're better than the WWE pay-per-views have been.
And it's not close.
It's not even close.
It's not
It's
close.
not.
That's the most surprising thing about it.
There's just better match quality. There's better storylines, and it's just overall just a better pay-per-view altogether.
I agree.
It's crazy.
War Games was something else.
So now, promo of the year. I have two. Obviously, I mentioned before. My number 2 was the rap battle between the Usos
Yeah,
and the New Day.
that was awesome.
What do you guys have? Do you guys all each have one?
I mentioned both mine before, so I'll just say them quick. The rap battle and the Cena Roman.
I have Chris Jericho putting Kevin Owens on the list as my promo.
What a great moment.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
When he just gets in the middle of the ring, he's like, "Do you know what happens?"
Do you know what happens when Chris Jericho?
Miss him.
This Chris Jericho, I think was the best run of his career.
Oh,
I think it was
for
even
sure.
better than
100%.
the 2008 run
And I'm
against Shawn Michaels.
looking very forward to next week when he fights Kenny Omega at the Tokyo Dome.
That'll be after. So next week's show will be after that match, correct?
It's on the 4th or the 5th.
What day of the week is that?
Let's see.
I'm gonna
Hold on,
find
let's look
out.
at the calendar.
We're not
Yes.
very good with dates.
The 4th is a Thursday. We record on the 5th, so we'll be recording the day after. Good chance I have yet to watch the match since then.
Oh, I'm probably gonna
it'll
watch
Why
it.
don't we
I'm
watch
probably-
it?
It's gonna be up at like. It's gonna
Why
be.
don't we watch it live on the show? On the show,
That's a good idea.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, let's back pocket
we'll see-
that.
we'll see what happens.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should come in early, watch the
it
match,
together?
and then do the
Okay.
phenomenal forum right after.
not
That'd be a
bad.
good idea.
Now you're breaking fourth walls. What are you doing?
I'm
You're
sorry, I
talking
just-
about. All right.
Come in where?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
We're always here.
So what do we got? So my promo of the year. The Miz
Thank you.
on Enzo Amore. It was
Yeah, I remember
it
this
was
one.
September. It was the night that the Miz and Maurice announced that they were pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And then Enzo Amore came out. He was a guest on Miz TV, and the Miz just went off on him about, how he's on 205 Live because nobody on the Raw roster can stand him. And take it from the Miz, a guy like him saying that nobody can stand him,
Yeah.
and he knows what it's like to be kicked off tour buses, to be kicked out of locker rooms. He was like, "I can help you, I can do this and this," and Enzo was just like, I don't need it, whatever. He did his Enzo thing, but this was top tier Miz, and for me, a close second was Miz and John Cena before WrestleMania, when the Miz was just talking about, I'm like. Basically, the John Cena Roman Reigns promo. John Cena said, "I'm still here because you can't do your job." The Miz was saying, "I'm here because, you go away, you do all these things.
I'm here
I'm
every
you. I'm the John Cena, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm better."
And my runner-up was when The Miz came out on the Raw after SummerSlam. I was actually in attendance for this. He came out and he talked down Roman Reigns. And he's like, "Listen, you're
Another
supposed to be
good
the
one.
big guy. You're supposed to be, the top guy here. But I'm the one going in and day out, doing my job." And, he is way better than Roman Reigns character-wise
Oh, yeah.
and promo-wise. So him coming out and doing that is just, there was nothing better.
That's why the reason I said thank you is because you can't talk about promos without talking about the Miz.
Basically,
He
this
is
whole year of promos,
the number one.
all the ones we talked about, it was The Miz or John Cena or both. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Because those two guys, when they're in the ring, you put a microphone in their hands with anybody, they're electric. So now, let's moving on over to Tag Team of the Year. For me, this was very, very tough. I have two teams. You can probably guess them.
one on Raw, one on SmackDown.
Yeah, it's both current. Well, no, not current champions anymore.
Almost.
But it's the Usos and the Bar. Do either of you have anybody else?
I have the bar.
I have the Usos.
And
way.
here you go. It took me forever to finally decide. I took the Usos
Oh, for the
because
two, yeah.
the Usos totally reinvented themselves this year. It was the tail end of last year, but they brought it into such a crazy turn. Just the Uso Penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
It's not paranoia. Everything about it. Their work with the Usos. They're the
the New
Usos.
Day?
Their work with the New Day. You know what I meant. Just absolutely incredible. Obviously, the Bar, a very close second. Their work with Ambrose and Rollins.
And the
Just
bar
so
wouldn't even
great.
they didn't even want to be in a tag team to begin with, and now they're like the top tag
And
team.
both of them have come out and said it's the best thing that
It's
could
the
have
best
ever
thing that
happened.
could've-
They've
yeah.
never had more fun in
yeah,
their careers.
Exactly.
Me picking the Usos takes nothing away from what
Yeah,
Sheamus and Cesaro have done.
Agreed.
What a year
It
for
just
those
guns to
two
my
guys.
head. Got to pick one. I
Yeah.
picked Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah.
So we got 2 categories left. Plus, we're gonna give you what we want to see in 2018. What we're looking forward to. Here we have Superstar of the Year. We'll do men and women. Let's do women first. Alex, who do
Ladies
you
first.
Alexa Bliss.
have? Me too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I have Asuka.
Even on this, NXT included,
Yeah,
obviously.
NXT.
Yeah.
For me, it's Alexa Bliss. It's the improvement. It's like, and it's not even just being the breakout star. It's just she's carried Raw
Yeah.
almost all year since the Superstar shakeup.
Yeah, that woman's division is hers.
For sure.
Yeah,
Well, the thing
until Asuka came up,
Right.
really.
So
yeah.
the thing with Asuka for me is on NXT, she was in every women's championship match, and
She was in
every
Fatal
single
4-Ways,
match
Triple Threats,
was
matches with
phenomenal.
Ember Moon. for
You
sure.
couldn't tell me there was one bad match that Asuka had this year.
No, you're
on
you're
a
100%
takeover.
right. And hopefully 2018 is the year of Asuka in the
Yeah.
women. Hopefully she just runs rampant on this Raw division, SmackDown division. For me, the match to see is Asuka versus Charlotte. I don't know about you guys. That's
good
what I
one.
want to see. I hope that's a WrestleMania match.
Well, probably a Survivor Series match because that's
Because
the
that
only
is the I was
time
about
that,
to yeah, sure. I was
Raw
about
and
to
SmackDown superstars compete
and
head
it's
to head.
and it's a shame because for me, I want to see that at WrestleMania. That's a Mania match. I don't want to wait 11 months to see it at
Nah,
Survivor
yeah,
Series.
you're right.
But that for me, that's the match to see with Asuka. But as for Alexa Bliss, I'd like to see her work Asuka as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the two of them will do some great work. So now on to the men. Again, 2, and I'm gonna decide on the spot.
Okay, I like
Do
that.
you guys, you want me to go first? You guys want to? Who wants to go?
Demiris, you go.
I'll go first,
All right.
and I'm gonna put this into other terms that I understand. You can't give LeBron James the MVP award every single season, even though he should be the MVP every year. AJ Styles
For
is
sure.
the MVP of WWE.
Yeah.
However, Kevin Owens this year,
Really?
I think, was the best superstar, just all things considered. Promos, in-ring, matches, rivalries, and him and Sami Zayn to finish it off.
Yeah, especially from where he started with Jericho as the Universal Champion to where he finished.
Wow.
I think Kevin
I like that.
Owens really had a phenomenal year. He's my pick probably for Superstar of the Year.
That's huge. He wasn't even one of my 2, but that's huge.
That's what I'm
That's
here,
a good
that's what I'm
one.
here for, guys.
So I have the phenomenal one. The face that runs the place.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. Of course.
You don't really need to tell us why.
I don't need to
We
tell you
get
why.
it.
We all
Because-
know why.
Exactly. It's just he's
He's just that good. There's
the guy.
nobody better.
He's
really,
the guy, and he
realistically.
brings the best out of everybody. He was one of mine. However, well, now I feel like I have to go with my second. Really, 1A and 1B, The Miz. All year, whatever he was doing, just put out one of the best years of his career. Now he's a 7-time Intercontinental Champion. He makes the He made the Intercontinental Championship relevant, and like he brings it to the top of the card, especially with a champion like Brock Lesnar, who's not on the show. The Intercontinental title is the only thing you're gonna see. It makes it means something. People want to fight for that Intercontinental Championship, and as it went to Roman, now it's kind of just like we forget that. But everything The Miz did this year in the ring, on the microphone, great. For me, Superstar of the Year, The Miz.
can't wait for him to come back.
Yes.
Really?
As soon as he's done with that movie. I'm sure he'll make a Rumble
He's
return.
almost
I think
done.
that's what it's
He'll
gonna be.
probably be in the Rumble.
Yeah.
But he's having a baby, so congratulations to him.
Yes.
I bet he's listening. But nonetheless, we have one category remaining. Match of the year. How many do you guys have? I have the number 1, and then I have like 3 others behind it.
So I have 1 for WWE, and then I have 2 outside of WWE.
All right.
I have a few, but I don't need to get in depth about them. I could just rattle them off. So you want me to go?
Yeah.
Go for
All
it.
right. One that happened recently that it was actually on Raw a couple weeks ago, early in December. Roman versus Cesaro for
Yep.
the Intercontinental
Great
Championship match.
Great match.
Awesome match. Really almost out of nowhere. Loved it.
It was great.
Excellent. So that was awesome. More Cesaro when his teeth got knocked out. The No Mercy Tag Team title match versus the Bar versus Ambrose and Rollins. That was a great match, even though we saw it 5 times.
We saw it exactly. I lumped them together. Said that match and the SummerSlam match together.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
those
fair.
those 4 guys together had a great 2017.
Okay. I don't want to keep going because now I feel like I'm getting into territory of where you guys might be going. Or should I just...
No, yeah, get
All
spit it
right.
off.
Go for it.
War Games. Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream. Amazing.
Yep.
AJ versus the Demon King, we touched on a little bit. And this one is kind of my favorite, I think, just because of who was in the ring at once and what we saw. The Fatal 5-Way, Extreme Rules. Samoa Joe,
Really?
Finn Balor, Roman, Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt.
It was a good match.
That
I
was
agree.
cool. Tables were broken. Everyone was flying all over the place. How did it end? Samoa Joe, your 2018 Royal Rumble winner.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Coquina
Doing
Clutch,
this now,
Finn
too.
Balor. No,
Statement,
I've been
my
saying it for the
friend.
past few weeks.
That's
Joe is
right.
going to win the Rumble. This was a dope match. He hit Balor with the Coquina Clutch. Obviously, everybody's falling asleep to that now. And Joe won and went on to fight, I believe, Lesnar.
Yeah.
That's right. At Great Balls of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So I'll tell you my ones outside of WWE. The first one is at the beginning of this year. It was Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada. At
That
the
was
Tokyo Dome.
last year's Wrestle Kingdom, right?
No, it was this year.
Well, yeah, this past
2017.
year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A year
The
ago.
beginning of the year.
Pretty, you know what I meant.
In a week, it'll be last
Yeah.
year's.
Right.
But
The first
yes.
6-star match of all time. It was just I showed my friends who've never don't watch as much wrestling as I do, obviously, but they just loved the match and they had no idea who these guys were, and it was just that translates well, I think, just showing people a match and them loving it.
This guy is such a mark.
No,
I'm
but
just
it's
a
true
big
because
mark.
really you're watching it
No,
for
I
the
agree,
wrestling
though.
and
Yeah,
that's a
you're
match
right.
like that.
Yeah. So
But Mark nonetheless.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Right. My second match outside of WWE is Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. And
That was this year? Or they did it again?
they did it again. It was another match.
Yeah,
It
because
was
I
in the-
watched. I don't think I saw that one. I saw the 2016 one.
Yeah, so it was in the G1 climax, and it was really, really good. If you want to go on YouTube, they have highlights of the match, and like some of the moves they're pulling off is just
Now he's
like,
a shill
insane.
too.
I'm not a what?
This is ridiculous.
What? All right, whatever.
And
whatever.
what do you got?
So my
You-
WWE match, best match of the year, in my opinion, and my favorite match that I'll constantly keep going back and watching over and over again is Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black.
As great as that match was, I think my favorite moment was at the end of the match when
Yeah.
Aleister Black got on the mic and said, "Enjoy infamy,
Velveteen Dream.
Velveteen Dream."
For sure.
Couldn't agree with you more. That was War Games was amazing. I think that was the best match.
It really was.
I agree. So now my list, I have a bunch of honorable mentions.
I love honorable mentions.
My first honorable mention was the first time we had Big Show and Braun Strowman.
Mm-hmm.
Because not for the match itself, just for what those two guys are capable of doing in a ring. It wasn't the time. It wasn't when the ring collapsed. It was in like February.
Mm-hmm.
When the Big Show came back from losing all that weight, he was in the best shape of his life. The match that those two guys put on was incredible. Just the fact that they were even capable of it.
Yeah.
So I got that one.
Some of the moves they were pulling off were crazy.
I mentioned Rollins and Ambrose at SummerSlam and No Mercy. Andrew, you mentioned earlier in the show AJ versus Cena at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And now this is number 2. The rest of them are in whatever. Number 2, NXT TakeOver Orlando, WrestleMania weekend. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus The Revival versus the Authors of Pain, triple threat tag team match.
That's such a good match.
This is the match that sold me on the Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
Before that, I was like, they're just two big guys. What do? This is what they do. It was incredible, this match. But very outspoken in the past couple weeks. Number 1, NXT TakeOver Chicago, United Kingdom Championship, Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate's 20 years old.
Wow.
21 now. Or is he still 20?
I
think he's
21.
I think he just turned 21
Yeah.
the past couple months. Pete Dunne is 23 or 24.
Yeah.
These two guys are already two of the best wrestlers in the world. And the leap that they made in 2017, unreal. And I said it last week, whatever WWE needs to do to get these two guys on television every week, they need to pull the trigger. These two guys are the future of WWE and professional wrestling.
For sure.
There you go. I said it.
I agree.
This match, my favorite match of the year, the best match of the year.
It was a great match.
Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, NXT Chicago.
Well said.
So now,
No complaints.
right before we sign off, so just some things you guys are looking forward to, some 2 or 3 things you want to see in 2018.
I want to see an unpredictable Royal Rumble win. I
Okay.
think that's my first one. Second one, I want to see Roman not fight Lesnar at WrestleMania, which is not going to happen.
Yeah.
I want to see, and lastly, I want to see the club return. I want to
With who is the leader, or both of them?
I want both of them.
Finn and AJ.
Finn
Oh
and AJ.
man, that would be amazing.
That would be. Give something Gallows and Anderson to do because they haven't done anything.
Agreed.
You mentioned an Asuka run. I'm sorry, that's not gonna happen. 2018, whether you like it or not, is the year of Nia Jax.
Okay.
Nia Jax is gonna be in the title picture.
Do you think she
Hasn't had a
wins the
match.
Royal Rumble?
Yeah,
Okay.
go back and listen. Predicted it 2 weeks.
All right.
when we
All
talking about
right. Let it be known.
Nia Jax women's championship run. I definitely think so. Damn, that Bullet Club return. That would be something to see.
That's what I'm saying.
That would be awesome.
That's what
but
I'm
Nia
saying.
Jax 2018 was my.
And then we
was
get
my prediction.
like a club versus the Shield. Have
Yeah,
another Shield return.
That would
That's-
be
that would-
something
there's
to
your
bring
Shield
the
return.
Shield back. for.
SummerSlam, dude. If that's at SummerSlam, I'm going to SummerSlam. Come on.
You may as well.
Do
I'll be there with you.
Yeah.
And one more thing. I know we think that KO and Sammy are eventually going to split. Is there a tag team title run
I
between
hope
these
so.
two
I hope
guys?
so. I think they
Right
deserve
before
it.
All right,
Mania, they
so
should.
that's the
At
last
least a
thing I wanted
match
to
with the
touch on.
Usos,
Okay.
whether they win it or not. So now
Take us home, baby.
I got 4. 2 of them are, you guys already mentioned, the club. 2 of them not club related, but Finn Balor related. First, I want to see Finn Balor versus the Universal Champion.
Yes.
Whoever it is, he deserves. Get
He's
him the
owed it.
I agree.
rematch. Get
He
him the
needs it.
rematch. And the other one, this is probably my favorite of the 4. So actually, I'm going to leave it. Hold on. First, I want to see Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. I
Yeah,
cannot
that's gonna
wait
happen.
for that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Tommaso Ciampa was hurt after he finally turned on
He should
Gargano.
come back
It's
anytime soon,
close.
right?
I think he's healthy, and Gargano's now the number 1 contender for TakeOver in Philly at
So-
the Royal Rumble weekend.
Okay.
There you go.
I wouldn't doubt seeing him there.
Yeah.
Demiris, this one's for you. A New Day singles run.
Okay.
That's all I want. I'm not saying Kofi Kingston has to be WWE champion, but
But you're not saying.
100%.
Listen, Xavier's in the
Xavier's in the US
Championship
title tournament,
so it could happen.
These 3 guys deserve a singles run. They don't have to break up, but just give them
Yeah.
each the singles run they deserve.
You know what would be cool? I'm gonna fantasy book this right now. It'll be in the final match of this tournament. Bobby Roode versus Xavier Woods, and Bobby Roode turns heel, and Xavier either wins it or loses it, but Bobby Roode turns heel on the New Day because the New Day are faces.
And we'll talk about it more next week, but that would mean Xavier Woods has to beat Aiden English in the first round and Jinder Mahal to get to the championship.
That's another thing. I really think Jinder Mahal
here's the
might
thing:
be there
Xavier
too.
Woods versus Jinder Mahal. You got Kofi and Big E to take on the Singh brothers.
That's true. That's true.
Good one.
So that's huge.
This
That
is
is
a perfect way to keep Jinder relevant, though.
And
Just like
he's great
Listen.
in the mid card of this U.S. title picture.
Keep him there. Don't put him
Great.
against AJ
Okay.
Styles.
Great. And the number one thing I want to see, it's more of, just for me, more than do I think it'll happen, whatever. Finn Balor versus Jeff Hardy in a big-time matchup with the
Yes.
spotlight on them. Demon King, Finn Balor, charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy with the face paint.
I wouldn't mind
That would be
Matt
something.
Hardy either with the
And
gimmick. he has
broken,
now.
woken Matt. That's right. But Jeff Hardy, is my favorite wrestler ever.
yeah.
Oh, 1A, 1B, him and Jericho. But Jeff Hardy's just incredible. When he was, like, the character he had when he was WWE champion at the tail end of his last WWE run, there was nobody more over than him. He was on the John Cena level before he left, and there's no reason he can't be there again. The crowd loves him and Matt. So Jeff Hardy versus Finn Balor. I want to see it in 2018. Somebody make it happen for me.
I'd like to see that as well. Man, we should be writing this stuff.
I don't
because
see
think
why
that
we're
we
not.
just
Let's
had some
book the
good
territory.
ideas.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, my goodness. If only, right? So, nonetheless, this has been the Phenomenal Forum. It's been a great 2017. 2018 has a lot in store. Can't wait to see it all unfold. That's going to do it. I'm Matt Weinstein here with Andrew Servideo, Alex Demiris, each and every week here on WCWPsports.org as well as iTunes. Happy holidays, everybody.